Okay, thank you, Mike, for that introduction. Welcome, everyone. I'm Herb Heathcote. I'm a member of the Cedars Board of Trustees. I'm pleased to announce last Sunday we collected almost $700 for Earth Justice as our special collection for October. Thank you for your generous donations. There are 4 Social Justice Committee activities in November. On November 19th, we'll be partnering with Community Loaves, an organization that nurtures communities by connecting with home bakers to reduce hunger and promote wellness. We'll be making dinner rolls for Thanksgiving. If you're interested, contact Mike Cox or Carol Ann Davidson. On Sunday, November 20th, we'll be collecting food donations for our local food banks. Archer Phillip is organizing this food drive. On Tuesday, November 22nd, there's the annual Interfaith Council Thanksgiving service at 7 p.m. at Rolling Bay Presbyterian Church. The theme this year is Gratitude to Mother Earth. For more information, contact Mike Cox. And on Tuesday, November 29th, we'll be working with Kol Shalom to host the Super Suppers at Eagle Harbor Congregational Church. Last month, we provided hot meals to over 25 people. If you're interested, please contact Dean Sampson or Penny Brewer. Thank you.
We have gathered on this side of the veil in a time when the days have grown shorter and the nights have grown longer. We find ourselves now at this threshold moment, a moment to pause and reflect, a moment to gather together and feel more intimately the bonds that we have woven. This is a place of balance between light and dark, life and death, a balance that is made palpable by the changing of the seasons. We bear witness to this, as people before us have bore witness, a witness that we still carry within us, deep within the marrow of our bones, a witness that reminds us of the precious and precarious nature of life. This is a liminal time, a time between the certainty of what was and the mystery of what shall be, a time when the fruits have been harvested. Know that in this tenuous time, you belong. You belong here, in the fullness of who you are, of who you love. You belong. Let us join together now to shape what is worthwhile to us and forge our own link of witness in the chain of beings that stretches through time. Come, let us worship together. During our prelude, if you have not done so already, you're invited to come forward and place any photos that you have of dead loved ones, dearly departed ones, on our table here for us, our community to hold. Good. For our chalice lighting reflection today, Archer and I would like to share the words of the reading, This Sacred Thread, by Heather K. Julness. They once dwelled among us, the people of memory.
They who knew us, they who taught us, they who heard us, they who loved us.
They touch our lives time and again, through their presence and through their absence.
Through familiar scents and favorite songs, through old stories and renewed sorrow.
As the earth turns and the leaves fall, we reach back to renew the bonds between us.
With hearts and hands open, we hold on to love ever stronger than death.
We reach back in gratitude and understanding, for without our time together, without the pain and joy,
we would never be who we are today. We would have little to pass on ourselves.
without fear, with thanksgiving, and with hope for all that awaits us.
We remember those who have gone before. We honor the circle of life and death and our place within this sacred thread.
As we remember how we are woven together in a web of life that connects past, present, and future, I invite you to join in reciting the words of our chalice lighting affirmation as found in our order of service. As we come together to worship, we remind ourselves to treat all people kindly, because we are one family, to take good care of the earth, because it is our home, and to live lives full of love and goodness, because that is how we will all become the best that we can be. As is our singing custom at this time, I would like to invite us to please don your masks. If you would need a mask, Mike has some in the back. Just simply raise your hand. As we prepare to sing our opening hymn of the morning, hymn number 128 in our hymnal, For All That Is Our Life. And I'll give you all a second to get situated.
Good morning, everyone. With a loud good morning, I say. I hope you are all well on this reflective Sunday morning. And today I bring to you what I call a representation of the veil between our physical world and the spirit world, where many believe that the spirit within all of us passes through to, who's to say? We have beliefs, we have hopes, but no one knows for sure. What I know personally is that on a day such as this, it is believed that the veil thins a bit and becomes clear to us. This is when souls become closer than they normally are throughout the year. This is why we celebrate life, we remember, we appreciate and engage with this veil. We think of loved ones, we think of their energy, and we try to embody it. I believe that this planet serves as its own veil for us as human beings. From the ground, our sturdy base, to the space around our planet and the sky encompassing us. This is what my veil is made to represent. And these might be the souls that you interact with on this day, perhaps in memory, perhaps in experience, perhaps in communication in your own form. But I think that our fourth principle, the interconnected web of life, that is important today because life is cyclical. Life begins with a birth, and then you grow, and experiences happen. And then we grow old, and we pass. But it's a scientific fact that energy is not lost. That's a principle that everyone knows, everyone uses. And I believe the soul is energy, something we feel, something that isn't lost when the vessel goes. This day is so special because we can appreciate energy. We can really bring images. We can talk, we can relive moments. This is our time. And if you try hard enough, you might just find that you can step through that veil for just a moment and feel all of this energy fill you with love. People leave behind impressions on you. And the web of life seems to pull us towards people that we have thought to lose. But no, I don't think we lose them. I think within our principles, it encourages us to keep that bond alive with our life, with our soul. So today, I encourage you to engage with the idea of the veil. What encourages you to engage with the people you have lost? What do you remember? What do you feel when you see a photo of the loved ones that are no longer with us in body, but might join us again in spirit? Today is a happy day as I choose to experience it. I have happy memories that I engage with, and I share those memories because that's how we keep people alive in memory, in spirit. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you all for crossing through my veil into this sacred space. I really appreciate all of you. And we will all exit through the veil if you so choose.
Let us take a breath together, breathing in and out, arriving fully into this moment together. This moment that we co-create with the whole web of life. Our Universalist forebearers believed that all people would be ultimately reconciled unto the source of creation. They called it God back then. Some today might call it love, or by another name, or none at all. With this belief came the idea that eventually all of us would reach what is called sainthood, that glorified existence that is said to come to holy people after death. Drawing from this heritage of ours, I offer these words of prayer by my colleague, Reverend Susan Brown. This is a prayer for all of the saints, those past, those present, those future, those known and unknown who we have interacted with. Let us open ourselves now to the spirit of prayer. Welcome, all you saints. Yes, you are saints. All of you are saints. For it is not by perfection that we are sainted, but rather by our actions. It is not by perfection that we are sainted, rather it is by our presence. It is not by perfection that we are sainted, rather it is by our giving. It is not by perfection that we are sainted, rather it is by our living. It is not by perfection that we are sainted, rather it is by our gathering. Together in love, with love, to become nurturing, welcoming, healing, and faithful worshiping community. Welcome, all of you saints. Welcome all the saints past, present, and future who join their voices now as we lift this word of prayer. Holy One of blessing, as we gather, let us call into our minds and hearts all those who blessed our lives. Those family saints, spouses and partners and mothers and fathers and grandparents and great-grandparents, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Saints who modeled living for us, who stay with us through the days and years and all time of need and joy. We give thanks. Those friend saints, childhood and adulthood friends, those young and not so young, tea time and coffee time and mealtime friends who listen and cry and laugh with us. We give thanks. Those work saints, friends, co-workers, bosses and employees and fellow travelers, those mentors and teachers who are with us when goals are hard to name and when trying to work with dignity and integrity seems very hard to do. We give thanks. Those community saints, those who serve, those elected or to be elected, those educators and manufacturers and nurturers whose presence makes our daily lives easier and more pleasant. And for those who toil and strive to bring a vision of justice, equity, and peace to our world, we give thanks. Those unnamed, unknown saints, those who overcome obstacles and teach us how to overcome obstacles, those whose presence reminds us that we are called to do more than we ever thought possible, those who bear burdens and let us assist them in bearing them, those who give willingly and unselfishly, those who demonstrate strength, courage, and wisdom in the face of pain and tragedy. We give thanks. Today, we are called to recognize all saints, all souls. Therefore, let us learn to recognize the sainthood in one another and the sainthood in ourselves as well. May all the saints, all the souls known and unknown be with us, and may their guidance and wisdom continue to whisper through us. And may we in this moment choose to live such that our wisdom will be whispered through the bones of those who will come after us. May it be so. Amen. And blessed be. I think microphone. It is a custom as we come together for us to share those things that are on our hearts. Life presents each of us with moments that need to be held within community, whether it's a joy that we wish to share with others or a sorrow that we simply cannot bear alone. Now is the time in our service where we share these things with one another. As you feel comfortable, I now invite you to come forward to share your joys and sorrows with the community. But because we know that this is a tender time, I want to let you know that this part of our service is not live streamed. For those of you joining us virtually, I hope that you will take this time to reflect on the things in your life, the joys and sorrows that you carry today, and know that these things are held in this community. for all the joys and sorrows that have been named in this space, and all those that still remain in the silent sanctuary of our heart, I pour some final water into our community vessel and place one more stone, that we might know even those things left unsaid are held within this community. And now I would like to invite us to join in singing our centering hymn of the day. It was misprint numbered in the order of service. It is actually hymn number 123, 123, Spirit of Life.
Now is the portion of service where is the offering. Of course, as you know, we are supported by our lovely congregation and your donations. If you are a guest here today, if it is your first time, please feel free to let the basket pass you by. You are a guest, and we are simply happy that you have joined us. Will the ushers please step forward? A bit of a trick-or-treating test run. And Gretchen will play for us. Thank you, Gretchen.
I mentioned that this is a liminal time. And the other day, I got to witness this a little for myself. I was driving back up from Grays Harbor County after visiting my family, coming through Mason County. Mason County is interesting because for Washington State, they have so many maple trees. At least growing up out on the coast, I'm used to the evergreens. So coming through these forests in fall, with their leaves golden and red, changing, beginning to fall as mist was rising up from the woods, it was beautiful. And also to me spoke of the change that is coming as we move into winter. Thinking about where we are at and this service today and our reflection on those that we love who have died, I felt it was appropriate to bring a bouquet of dead sunflowers and artichokes. Now, there's a reason for this. I know that they're not pretty. They don't look super great, but these are flowers and artichokes from my garden. I knew them. I tended to them. I watched them grow throughout the summer and gazed into their face as they unfurled. I watched the bees come and go. And yet, despite all of this enjoyment, despite all of this beauty, here they are. Beauty and enjoyment as we experience them are fleeting things. The spring flows into the summer and then into the fall before finally we find ourselves in winter. And that's if we're lucky. We don't all get to make it to old age, and I think in those cases it feels all the more tragic. Winter can come even in the spring of life. Winter can come, death can come to any of us at any time. Life is precious. The thing, though, is that these flowers, these artichokes and sunflowers, that while they're dead, they're not very attractive right now, they still carry a potential within them. They carry the seeds that can grow into new life, given the right circumstances and enough time. They carry a metaphor for us about the natural world, something that I think points to death not being the final end, but a mystery that we don't get to know. Perhaps it is thinking about the flowers and the changing leaves this time of year that has caused so many religious traditions to pause during this season and reflect on our connection to life and death. We spoke about the belief of the veil between the worlds growing thinner this time of year. For practitioners of earth-based spiritual traditions, this is often seen as a time to reconnect with our dead loved ones, to meditate on the things that they taught us, and perhaps even seek advice from them, to connect with our ancestors. In the Christian church, of which our church has come out of, there is a tradition this time of year of celebrating All Souls and All Saints days. Days where, too, we are invited to reconnect with those who have gone before us and see what wisdom they still have to offer us the living. I know many of my friends from Mexico this time of year are excitedly building their ofrenda as they prepare to honor their ancestors, celebrating Day of the Dead. Each of these traditions offers us, the living, a chance to reflect on those who have died, on those who have gone before, and to continue to be in relationship with them. It's like the seeds in the sunflower, things that were planted in us by the people who have gone before us, if only we remember and nurture those things, to let them grow. We all carry seeds, lessons, experiences, stories from the people we have loved who are no longer with us. I want you to think now. Think of the people in your life who have died that you love. Think of the people who helped to shape and form you into who you are today. Think of the lessons, the stories, the memories, the hardships even. We're all human. As you sit in this contemplation now, as you feel so called, from the silence, I invite you to come forward to our central table and take a stone. These stones are like the seeds of the sunflower. They represent those potential things still growing in us that we carry from those who have gone before. What do you carry? What is the seed growing inside of you left by those who have died? As you feel so called, please come forward. Whether you carry a stone now or not, we carry our dead with us in the way that we live our lives, in the way that we continue to tell their stories, our stories together. We carry the dead with us. May the lessons and wisdom they offer continue to guide you in the year ahead. And to close this ritual, I offer these words of prayer. To the saints, how do we say thank you? To you who dreamed, fought, believed, suffered. To you who showed us what incredible things humans are capable of under the most challenging of circumstances. We kneel to your courage. We pray to acquire your faith. We praise all that is holy and good, the divine in you and each of us. Are you with us still in these days of grief? Are you companioning us in this long journey to justice? Or weeping at the vanity of it all? Will you tell us your secrets? Whisper softly in our direction about when you wanted to quit and when you got tired, when you weren't sure if any of it mattered or if it was worth the cost. What kept you going? Was it your own prayers to the saints who went before you? Did you long to make them proud? Was it seeing the holy in your people yearning to live free? Was it us, the future ones, now enfleshed? More important than your answers, perhaps, is simply your assurance that you asked the same questions as budding prophets today and kept living love anyway. May you continue to inspire us as we seek to keep living love today. We've reached the time in our service to sing the closing hymn of the service. Hymn number 101, Abide With Me. And I'll give you a moment to get your masks situated before.
Two verses. Now, if you would join me in our closing words as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth. The warmth of community or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We are each a thread woven into the interconnected tapestry of life. What we do matters. We tug and pull on each other even when we are no longer present. May we feel the tug of those loved ones who still guide us as we go forth, and commit ourselves to tugging with compassion so that the world may be filled with justice. Amen.